Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDex and welcome to a discussion video where we're going to talk about Nintendo's absolutely insane lineup for 2022, and this is just what we know about so far. So I've got someone with me today. I've got Azdin from Grinning Wolf Games. Hello Azdin.
Hello Dave, thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. So I remember last time there was a Nintendo Direct, you joined me to talk about it afterwards, but for the one we had last month, I didn't do a video talking about my thoughts on it. I did a reaction stream. But since then, we had that Pokemon Direct as well, and that really sort of made me think, what a jam-packed year we've got. So specifically from Nintendo developed, Nintendo published, sort of partnered games as well. Because I said to you last year that Nintendo, before 2022, we had 7 big games from them that we already knew about, them being Pokemon Legends Arceus, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Advance Wars 1 and 2, Bayonetta 3, Breath of the Wild 2, Mario Rabbids 2 and Splatoon 3, all games confirmed for 2022 last year. And I thought that's 7 games already, and then we just had this Direct which has added a fair few other games to their lineup this year, and there still could be more to come, because remember last year in June we had E3 and they announced there like Metroid Dread, Mario Party Superstars and WarioWare. So if they have a few more games to announce in the summer for later this year, then it's looking like there's a lot to do this year for a Nintendo fan.
Yeah, I don't want to think about my backlog. It's bad enough as it is, to be honest. That and my wallet, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, sometimes I welcome the gaming droughts because it gives me a time to catch up and save some money. Because we did have, obviously 2020, for obvious reasons, was a quiet year in general, so that was sort of good for the backlog, but now they're back in full swing here. So one thing I want to talk about, just go through the games we know about that are coming out this year and just what we think of them, because this is like a response to that Direct as well. So did you play Pokemon Legends Arceus?
Yeah, I've got it. I haven't finished it. I'm taking my time. I really like it. Really like it.
Yeah, same here. We did stream it the first few times I played it, but then I was just, because a lot of the time I'm like, when I'm streaming a game, I need to be recording the whole game when I'm playing through it, but I've sort of gotten over that a bit. I'm like, I don't need to have the entire footage of every game now, so I've been playing this one handheld a lot, and it is so, like, you can just lose yourself in it, like,
yeah,
just trying to catch everything.
And yeah, just like gathering in itself, like, you can spend so much time just like going through the specific maps and just gather, and then you see something that you want to catch and you catch it, or you fail to catch it. It's good, man. It's really good. It's what it's what the 25-year-old formula needed, really.
Definitely, it's like a breath of fresh air to this franchise, really, and we'll get into Pokemon a bit later on as well because of a future game we know about, which seems to be following in this game's footsteps. But I'm glad this turned out as well as it did, because there was a lot of concern about it last year because the footage they showed of it didn't look great. But I've not had any sort of performance issues from this one myself.
No, I've had no issues. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, like, I understand where people are coming from, where things just pop up and so forth. But to be honest, it's still very playable. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, and just catching Pokemon, that's just what you want to do, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
One that we did know about last year, but I didn't put on the list just now, is Triangle Strategy. And you've got that, haven't you? I
do. I did the unboxing as soon as I got home. I put it up on my channel.
Video's done really well.
Yeah, really happy about that. You're not going to believe it, I still haven't played it. I literally put it in. I checked if it needed an update. It did. It needed the day 1 patch. That's it. I still haven't booted it up because I've got other things that I need to attend to at the moment. But trust me, the second I can, yes, I'm investing all my attention to it.
And then we're not going to hear from you for another 2 months or so.
Yeah.
again, it's one of those where it looks interesting for me, but I know it's going to be a big time sink, and I just wouldn't. I've got a lot of big time sink games I just haven't played because of that.
Yeah, definitely.
So these are games that are already out, and so we're going to go through games that aren't out yet and just say what we think of them, what we're hoping for them. And so the next one is coming out this month is Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really happy that they've kind of reinvented, I suppose is a good word, the Kirby formula, because Kirby was one of those franchises that it's very old, it's very dear to Nintendo. They have made games for Kirby in the past, in the 3DS and so forth, but it still hasn't been in the same level as your Marios, your Zeldas and so forth. So hopefully this will help the franchise massively. It will keep fans happy, and it will make more fans out of it.
Have you played the demo?
No, you know what's funny? I always download demos, never touch them.
So Sophie and I did play the demo. We streamed it the other day. By the way, guys, we're doing Kirby month this month. We're playing for a bunch of Kirby games on stream, so subscribe for that. So basically, it has like the first 3 levels. The demo does, and all I'll say is it really does feel like a Kirby game, but in 3D. They really did translate it extremely well.
Well, that was a concern, wasn't it? Like if they do a proper Kirby 3D game, how would it manifest itself on screen, essentially?
So it doesn't change things too much, but what it does is when it comes to finding sort of collectibles in the levels, there's like 3 caged Waddle Dees in some of the levels we did, and it's exploring to find them. It adds a whole, obviously, new dimension to that. But yeah, when you're finding I can't remember what they're called, like the big real world objects, like the car and things like that. So the car section was sort of you were meant to do it to get past the area and crash things down, but when you got to the traffic cones, that sort of doubled up as a drill, and there'd be cracks in certain floors, and you needed to have that power up to get to what's under there. So there's an element to exploration there. But what the demo doesn't give you is access to the hub world or the town bit that the trailer showed off.
Right.
And the ability to upgrade your abilities. So basically that's something to look forward to, because that's an extra layer to Kirby there that we haven't seen already in the demo. So there is still more to come from the full game.
Fair enough. I'm looking forward to it.
And I feel those elements will expand on the Kirby formula a lot more than just it's a 3D game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you got a town that you go back and forth to, there's a chance that there's going to be a lot of collectibles that you can maybe invest into the town.
So that's coming out on the 25th of March. So moving on to the end of April, the 29th, is Nintendo Switch Sports.
Yes.
So this is one that I feel like, before E3 last year, I was doing a discussion and we said, do you think they'll bring the Wii series to Switch? Do a version of Wii Sports, call it Switch Sports, I said. And that is what they've done. We've basically got the Wii Sports sequel, we could call it, which is coming with 6 sports included, them being tennis, bowling, Chambara, or the sword play it was called before, football, badminton and volleyball, with golf coming later on in the year. What do you make of this one?
I think it's a good addition. I think a lot of people are probably looking at it thinking, but you forget, or those who didn't live it maybe won't understand. But what really sold the Wii back in the day was the fact that it was bundled with Wii Sports, and everyone and their cat had a Wii. And they played bowling. Oh, yeah. Do you know what I mean? They played bowling, boxing. I used to love boxing. Absolutely love boxing. So yeah, no, I think it's a no-brainer. In fact, I would say that it would have been interesting to see how the Switch would have sold if instead of 1-2 Switch, they added this one back in the day.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It feels like this should have come a lot sooner.
Yeah.
So they did a play test for it just last month, just not long after the Direct, and over a weekend. And I didn't actually get to do that because I was away that weekend. But did you manage to do that?
No, unfortunately I didn't.
But it's probably just as well because we're not actually allowed to talk about that demo on social media or anything, apparently. I don't know if you heard about that.
Nintendo being Nintendo.
Yeah. But anyway, the thing I want to talk about is we've got the 6 sports included, which isn't every sport from the original. Baseball and boxing are missing because golf is coming later on. I'm not too upset about the boxing not being there, because you said you played it a lot, but I didn't really play it that much. But the baseball I really liked because it chose like a bunch of your Miis randomly to be on your team, and a lot of it, because I created a lot of Miis back then and I still have them on my Switch, and a lot of the joy was seeing what Miis will be on my team this time. And yeah, baseball games I tend to enjoy anyway. And although this is going with these new looking avatars, I mean, that Direct showed that the Miis are still in this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy it got announced, and in a way, I understand why they've. Firstly, why they've included Miis. It's a no-brainer because you can't really have one without the other. And then secondly, I understand that a lot of people are probably deflated by the fact that not everything's on the cartridge, and more stuff is going to come out as DLC. But then they probably want to, firstly, release it as it is, and then trickle the other sports just to expand on it and make it a longer game, essentially. Because this is the thing with games like that. Yeah, they're really good. There's a lot to do, but unless you've got people to play with, or you're really invested, it ends up on your shelf collecting dust. At least we know that with DLC, whatever game it is, if you include DLC every now and again, it gives you an incentive to go back and jump on that game, you know?
Also wanted to point out, because one of the updates is the golf being added later on, but another one, and I want to mention this because I misinterpreted this at first, because if you buy this game physical, it comes with a leg strap for the football, like, the same one that came with Ring Fit, so we'd have 2 essentially. But I thought, but the update to add the leg strap compatibility to the football mode isn't happening until the summer, so I'm like, you're going to buy this and have the leg strap not being able to use it for a few months. But actually, in watching the Direct again, it says that the leg strap, because this is going to have some, not just the sports, but some extra side modes like the original Wii Sports had. And one of the side modes for football is like a shootout on goal. So from the get-go, the leg strap will work with that mode. But the update in the summer is for the leg strap to be used in the main football mode. Right,
okay, that makes sense.
I don't know if I explained that very well.
No, you did.
But there's also going to be online for this.
Yeah, it needs online.
Which is something that the Wii U version of Wii Sports added, but I don't know if many people bought that, because they did this weird thing where you could buy the sports individually or rent them for a few days or something. I didn't really get into it.
Yeah, it rings a bell. I didn't get into it either.
Yeah, and also, I just want to point out, when I was... because the football mode, obviously it's cartoony, all that, so the football is giant when you're playing the football mode. When I saw that, my first thought was, this is like Rocket League mixed with football. And then I realised what I'd said. So the other 2 new modes are badminton and volleyball, which I'm not too excited about, but I'd have rather seen baseball there, because I'm right now thinking, if baseball was included here, I'd be happy. But then if baseball was included, I would still be thinking, they could have added this sport and that one, it's just what I'm like with things. I think a lot of people are like it, like, no matter how much they add to it, I won't be satisfied. I want more added all the time.
But that's probably its double-edged sword, like, there's people going to be satisfied with what's already in the package, and there's going to be people that are going to wait and wait and wait until the right sport turns up. I think going forward, like I'm a bit apprehensive about some games having content added later, because that seems to be the norm now with a lot of games in the industry. But in this case, I understand the logic behind it, you know?
So when it comes to adding things, because the fact that it's the golf's being added for free, then, you know, if it was going to be paid DLC, I'd think differently. But the fact it's being added for free, it's fine. It's a new sport being added. But there's one aspect to the free updates thing, which I'll go into in the later game a bit later on, that I have a negative thing to say about it. But the other thing I wanted to point out about this as well, so the fact is this requires the Joy-Cons to be used like Wii remotes, essentially. Now, I wonder how playable this is going to be for me, because I think it's been said that you won't be able to do this on a Switch Lite for obvious reasons, unless you had separate Joy-Cons, kind of like with Super Mario Party. But the problem is, I own 4 Joy-Cons. 3 of them, the SL and SR buttons don't work, so I can't activate them separately. I can only activate them when they're together using the L and R buttons.
Okay.
So I don't know how playable this is going to be for me. If I'm able to activate them normally with the L and R buttons and then have them separate, then it'll be fine. But if I have to do the SLSR buttons, because I can't play Super Mario Party with those Joy-Cons anymore.
That's really annoying.
It's usually the analog sticks that have problems on them, but for me it's those buttons.
So I've opened quite a lot of the Joy-Cons, like just to repair them and so forth. The ribbon that connects the SL and SR, you just have to look at it and it breaks. It's very, very sensitive.
Oh, really?
Honestly, like every time I used to do a repair, I had to make sure that I had spare cables for that component, because it breaks very easily.
Well, hopefully, I mean, Sophie's got a Switch and her Joy-Cons still work fine, so might have to use those, but we'll see what happens there. So, going on to our next game on the list is Mario Strikers Battle League Football, or just Battle League if you're outside of Europe, because we need to know that it's football, don't we?
Yeah.
So this one is coming out on the 10th of June, which is not far. So, have you played a Mario Strikers game before?
Mate, this is, honestly, why it hasn't come out sooner is beyond me. Because I had it on the Wii, and even though I wasn't very good, and I couldn't complete it. You know how you go through the tournament? Yeah, like Diddy Kong always used to beat me to it, like the AI. But it was really enjoyable. I love how it's got all different Super Mario characters. They all have their special abilities, and I love the fact that it's like Mutant League football. It's very aggressive, and it's one of the few Nintendo games where it's got a bit of an edge. Because not even Smash, you know, Smash, yeah, cool. They're pretty much fighting each other, but it still doesn't have that edge. I mean, you'll recall Waluigi's signature move, you know, stuff like that. It was just really, really edgy, and it was really cool. So I'm really looking forward to this one and to see what kind of mechanics they add to this game.
Yes, and it's being developed by Next Level Games, who did the previous ones, and because obviously their last game, I believe, was Luigi's Mansion 3, which was an excellent game, and since then Nintendo have acquired Next Level Games, so they own them now. So I'm glad that they're putting them to good use with a game like this.
Definitely.
And one thing I want to point out, because I'm going to do I want to do a separate video on Mario Strikers where I predict what characters are still to be added, because there's some notable omissions. So originally you chose one of the main Mario characters as a captain, and then you had the smaller ones, mostly Bowser's minions, as your sidekicks.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to have done away with that, because you couldn't have Mario and Luigi on the same team in the older ones, you could only have one captain, but here you can mix and match like that. So I'm wondering whether those sidekick ones, because Toad was a sidekick, but now he's in this game. So would characters like Shy Guy, Monty Mole be in this game as well, and they just haven't announced them yet? Because obviously I don't want them to show every character off straight away.
Well, if you consider that since the game came out on the Wii U, the last installment, a lot has happened. You've got Rosalina, for example. You got, I think,
and she's in this.
You know, like I just think that the roster has and can be amplified significantly. You know.
Yeah, and this is where I'm going to go into the whole. When we talked about the golf being added to sports earlier, this is the side of, because with Mario Tennis Aces and the Mario Golf game last year, they added characters later on for free. And so I'm wondering if they're going to do that here. And this is the negative side of this that I have, is because back in my day, in games like, say, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis stuff, you'd have your starting roster, and then there'd be maybe 10 characters not playable. But then you had to unlock them through gameplay, doing specific challenges and things like that. And for these multiplayer-centric games, the bulk of a single-player content on them is unlocking everything. And I kind of feel like if each month they're just going to add another character into it for free, you're kind of robbing gameplay there.
Yeah, 100%. It's happening more and more. I can understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, yeah, where's the repaid value or the sense of accomplishment if it's kind of like you just have to pay for it, you know?
Because like Mario Golf had 5 characters that they added on later on in updates. I'd rather those characters were just, I could have played the game to unlock them, you know, from the get-go. I would have, yeah, it would have been a lot of fun doing that, but it's just a shame. That's how it's all going nowadays, isn't it? But things were better in my day.
The only alternative to that is, well, it's not even an alternative, but like when things like that happen, I tend to wait the longest time to see if they release kind of like a deluxe edition. Like, for example, the Breath of the Wild, you can get it physically in Japan with all the DLC.
Oh, nice.
You know, like there's a lot of games like that now where if you wait it out, I mean, it's a common practice with a lot of games anyways. Like the Borderlands have done it before, Skyrim's done it. Like, every game has done it. Nintendo games don't really do it that much, but I'm just wondering if maybe in a few years to come, after the games come out, if they actually do a version that has everything in the package, I suppose, in the cartridge.
We'll see how that goes, but I'm going to do a separate video predicting what characters could still be added. So the next game, this was one announced last month, and Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes.
I don't know.
It's kind of what I'm thinking as well.
Like, yeah, you know what? I still haven't finished Three Houses, first and foremost. And yeah, I'm not that keen on Musou games, man. It's...
I remember you saying before.
I think I'll give it a miss, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's out on the 24th of June, and yeah, it's not one, because I never played Fire Emblem Warriors, I never played Three Houses, so this sort of thing doesn't interest me, but at the same time, this is sort of like what I was getting with the theme of this video, because even if it's a game I'm not interested, I'm still happy to see these big exclusives coming to the Switch still.
Yeah,
it's good for the console.
100%. And there's probably...
So that's really all to say about that. But
yeah, and there's probably someone out there that the second they saw that come on screen, they just jumped up and enjoyed.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So it's good for the console to have it. Okay, so I think now we're getting away from ones that we think that we know have the absolute solid release dates. And that is, so we're going to go into one that we know a month, and that's Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's just September, it's saying it's coming out. So this is a game that has been rumoured for a while, but now we've got a solid confirmation on it.
Again, Xenoblade, I like the idea. I love how expansive it is. I love that it has British voice acting. I think it's incredible. But yeah, like the combat, I'm not that keen on. I think a lot of people feel the same way. That you get people that don't mind it and love the game and have every single game that have come out, but I don't know. I just find it really, it's too automated. I like my button bashing, you know?
Oh, okay, yeah. So for me, I do own every game except for the 3DS port of Xenoblade Chronicles, and I have very much enjoyed my time with them all, but I will never beat any of them.
Well, that's a funny thing. I've got it on the Wii, and never finished it. I got really far, never finished it. I had it on the 3DS, never finished it. In fact, on the 3DS, I probably enjoyed it more for some reason. Maybe because I went in more prepared, I suppose. I'm happy to pick it up, any of the games, really, on the Switch, when they go down in price, which is never at this point. I'm not going to get it day one. Not for now, anyways.
So, for me, same with Fire Emblem. I'm excited that the Switch is getting this game, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
Next, so one that I think is confirmed for summer is Splatoon 3.
Now we're talking.
And I know you're excited for this one.
You know what? One of the best things that ever came out from the Wii U generation was Splatoon. Hands down.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
Not Amiibo Festival.
No. No, honestly, like I remember Splatoon came out around June time. I got it, and I absolutely loved it. And it seemed really monotonous, playing the same levels at random, the same 2 levels every 4 hours. But it was phenomenal because, like, depending on what game mode you play. I don't play Turf Wars. I find it really boring. Yeah, cool. You have to color everything in. I get that. I like the other game modes because there's more. I feel there's more strategizing to it. You know, like I love the fact that, for example, in the second one they added the what's it called? The clam one, which is you collect all the clams. When you get 10, it turns into like a rugby ball. Or to
I'll be honest. Turf War's the only thing I play on Splatoon.
Ah, there you go.
So I don't know about the other modes.
Honestly, if you get the chance, try the other modes. They're really, really good. Really, really good. And that's the thing. I'm excited for this one to see what they include in terms of modes, what the story's going to be like, or the first player experience, or the one player experience. And yeah, I just love the entire universe. I love the fact that the characters, they're very trendy. I love that they've got their own music, that the things you equip with, they have power-ups. Yeah, I think it's brilliant, man. And competitive scene of Splatoon, I'm just glad it's gone from strength to strength over the years.
Yeah, oh yeah. So I need to beat the Octo expansion still on that, come to think of it.
I did that one really quickly. Because it was one of those things where, this is the thing, if you wanted to unlock the Octoling, you have to finish that expansion. So I just breezed through it. Like, usually I take my time and I collect everything. Nah, I got from A to B as quickly as possible, got it, done.
So anyway, next game to talk about, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. We didn't really see much of this lately, have we?
No, but maybe it's a good thing.
I mean, it's still slated for 2022, so again, that's we're talking about games that are obviously games could get delayed. That's something I should point out, but at the time of recording, this is down as their release date, and I think it's important to mention that because of a game we'll talk about a bit later. So yeah, I mean, this is one of those games when you're talking about, I think it was you said to me as well last year, where they want to repeat 2017. And so we've got like, we had Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we're now getting Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We had Mario and Rabbids, second one that, Splatoon 2, we got Splatoon 3. There's like Pokemon games coming out, even though they're on the 3DS in 2017. Fire Emblem Warriors came out in 2017, and we're getting a new one of them as well. So, yeah, if this is just looking like, from the trailers, a better version of Mario Rabbids, which was a great game in itself.
Again, I haven't finished the first one. I've got it. I really, really like it. It's pretty much XCOM 2 with Mario, which is phenomenal.
This is basically my Splatoon 2 for you then, because I played that to completion, and I got the DLC and just breezed through that.
Yeah, I need to get back to that. I
just got so absorbed into it, yeah. So Bayonetta 3, we only seen that one trailer and we talked about it back then, but there's not really anything else I'd want to add.
No, not same here, man. Look, to be honest, like, I'm happy they've announced certain games. Like, for example, Mario & Rabbids 2, I'm glad that they've announced it. They've given us somewhat an estimated time of arrival. Same with Bayonetta. Yeah. But what you don't want it to fall into the trap of Metroid Prime 4, you know, where they announced it.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
So, and to be honest, expect delays. And maybe delays in a way, and I know it's gonna sound, I'm gonna come across very unpopular by saying this. Maybe it's a good thing, because too many games are coming out broken, essentially. Like, they just rushed out the door and like release now, patch later, and plus, the amount of games that are coming out, and these are the ones we know about. Yeah, you know, so use your time and your money wisely, I suppose, and just there's a time and a place for everything. So if there's delays, you know.
It's been in development for over 4 years now, so I'm hoping it's in a good shape. They're probably just retouching a few things. You know, there's a lot of bureaucracy in gaming. At the end of the day, it's all business and licensing and whatnot, and it's all we have to do is wait. Okay, so on the topic of delays as well, because I want to bring this up, and the game we've known about for a while is Breath of the Wild 2. Now, people were expecting this to come out last year because it was the anniversary, but they've showed us a proper trailer for it and said it's coming out in 2022, and we haven't heard anything since. And because they did that Pokemon Presents last week or the week before, saying we got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet coming out later this year, which presumably November, that's when Pokemon usually comes out. People are now saying, I've seen YouTube videos up, I've not watched them because I don't really want to, saying this confirms Breath of the Wild 2 is being delayed to 2023 and things like that, because this Pokemon game looks like it's going to be open world. I think they've confirmed that, and they wouldn't want to release Breath of the Wild 2 around that. And I'm like, the thing is, I'm not saying Breath of the Wild 2 is definitely coming out this year. It could get delayed till 2023. But I very much doubt that if they do delay it, it won't be because of Pokemon. It'll be because the game's not ready.
100%. This is the thing, man. Like, I know a lot of people are really passionate and they mean well and so forth, but sometimes, man, like, people just go online and just a bit crazy about stuff, you know. I've made peace with the fact. Don't get me wrong. Like, the second that game comes out, Breath of the Wild, I'm taking time off.
You're going to throw triangle strategy aside and
no, honestly, like, I'm planning on investing as much time as humanly possible to that game. If it gets delayed, well, you know what? I have lots of confidence in the team creating the game that if they delay it, it's for a good reason. I don't think Pokemon is the reason for it whatsoever. Pokemon, you have to remember one thing. The Pokemon company, it's its own entity, and they've got their own targets to meet. A lot of people are saying, "Oh yeah, but they've essentially released within 12 months. They've released 3 games." Yes, because they're running a business.
Exactly.
It's that simple. Do you remember, like, when we were watching the announcement, and I said to you they're going to announce Gen 9? The reason I said that was mainly because I've heard rumors that they were going to announce Gen 9 anyways, and second of all, it kind of makes sense simply because of how Nintendo has to release that. Because you think of this, right? The 3 starters, those are the only new ones we know about. For example, Those 3 starters
Oh, yeah.
make money. If you think about the cards,
Okay,
the
exactly,
plushies, do you get what I'm saying? Like, so it's in their interest to make these games and release them, and plus, it makes sense that they release it now or this year because they probably, this is my own theory. I think they created Arceus or Arceus, however you want to pronounce it, and this game simultaneously. They were working on both simultaneously. They released Arceus first, and then this one they just putting the finishing touches.
Also, when you talk about the fact that they're saying it's very soon after Arceus, but this game is 3 years after Gen 8 came out.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and Arceus is a spin-off. Diamond and Pearl were remakes. This is, 3 years since Gen 8. They're releasing Gen 9. That doesn't sound like a crazy time gap. And Pokemon Company have always made spin-off games as well alongside the main ones.
I'm happy with everything they announced. I'm really excited about Gen 9 simply because it's based on the part of the world I'm from, and
yes, we did notice that. Yeah,
May I was so excited, like because the thing is when they were showing footage of the scenery, I thought, yeah, this is the Med. This is the Iberian Peninsula. It has to be. And
that is also why, although Gen 8 wasn't universally popular, I really took a shine to it because it was based on the UK.
Oh, mate, I was really excited about Gen 8. That it was based. The fact that it was based in the UK, because this is the thing. It's always been Japan, or an imaginary land, or France, basically, or Hawaii.
And the fact that I was sort of noticing like references to the country I'm from, I'm like, that's sort of got me more excited about the game. So I can understand you with Gen 9 here.
What I'm excited about is, firstly, what are going to be the flagship monsters on the packaging. I have a feeling it's going to be a bull for Spain, and it's going to be a rooster for Portugal. I would love to see if they actually acknowledge my hometown, and they have an ape Pokemon. You know what I mean? If they do that, where if you go to the south of the map and they acknowledge the Rock or Barbary apes in some way, shape, or form, I'd be happy. Honestly, I'd be ecstatic, because then that would cement the Pokemon world with reality for me.
Oh yeah. Which starter do you like?
Oof. This is the thing, man, with starters, when you don't know much, because it's always about, that starter's cool, but I want to see when it's fully evolved,
When I saw the picture of them in that trailer, I took a shine to the fire type, because I said that looks like an apple dinosaur.
Yeah.
And then I found out it's actually a fire croc, and now I want it even more.
Yeah, it's shaped like a pepper.
Yeah, oh, I get it, yes.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's
You got the leaf cat, and you've got the Elvis duck, as I call it.
Yeah, I like Sprigatito, but again, I might go for that one just because I love. Do you know what? I'm really happy that you've got a fire cat from the 7th generation, and now you've got a grass cat. We just need a water cat.
I'm a big fan of the names, like Scarlet and Violet, because for years now, before Gen 8 was announced, the Sword and Shield, I was saying, I'd actually text Glenn saying, I reckon it'll be Pokemon Pink and Purple I want to see. Because, purple's my favourite colour, so now we've got Violet, I'm thinking that's close enough.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of new Pokemon will appear,
I'm guessing the legendaries will be those colours.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, and it's been confirmed it's going to be an open world, sort of like seamlessly connected, which is really good to see that they're doing that. Because although Arceus had that open world, it was still loading screens between the main areas.
Yeah.
So if this one is really seamless, that's good. But also the fact that we're going to have to wait 8 or 9 months for this means, as usual with Pokemon games, we've got 8 and 9 months of people finding things to complain about with it. And the other day, I don't know if you saw this on Nintendo Live, people on Twitter are complaining about what the eyes look like on the characters.
Oh.
They're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for things to complain about in a minute.
Oh, mate, like, people will complain about anything minuscule, man.
Oh, yeah, and it's like, they're still going to buy it.
Precisely.
It's like, you know, it's like any time like a big company makes stupid decisions, they seem anti-consumer and all that, but people still keep buying them. That's why these companies still keep doing it.
But that's the thing, it's like, if you're really that upset about how the shape of the eye of the characters is in this game, don't buy it.
Exactly.
Don't buy it.
But Game Freak will look at the sales and go, look at all these sales, people must love the shapes of the eyes, let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
So if this does come out, say, November, I think Breath of the Wild could come out, say, December, and they both sell.
One more thing, I just want to add about Pokemon. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, carry on.
I'm really looking forward to see the regions of the map, how accurate they are to a certain extent, to what Spain and Portugal is like, and also about the mythology of the land. Because, for example, I think there's a photo with Masuda, or one of the directors of Pokemon, holding the Barcelos rooster, and there's a really cool like legend about that rooster, and it'd be interesting to see if they add other notorious legendary creatures from that region. You know. Sorry, carry on. You were saying about Zelda.
Yeah, so there's no reason, like, if this came out in November and then Zelda came out in December, I think, although if they are similar game, like, in other words, they're both open world, I think that's where the similarities will end. You know, I think they both sell really well, especially, would they push Zelda away from Christmas just because a Pokemon game came out? I don't think they would.
There's ways of doing things, and yeah, you don't want to saturate the market too much, because at the end of the day, if you can afford both in terms of buying them and giving the time to each game as you should, if you're bundling time and money, happy days. But realistically, you're either going to choose one or the other around that time of the year, you know.
But the people that don't buy. Because if people that only buy one of them before Christmas, say, they'll still buy the other after Christmas.
Precisely. Or they'll ask someone to buy it for them for Christmas, or Santa, or blah, blah, blah.
So, yes, hold on. And when you talk about, say, oversaturating it, you could argue that the speed and volume of Pokemon games being made in such a short time is kind of shows they're not thinking about the possibility of it being oversaturated.
No, because again, I think they've got targets to meet.
Yeah, Arceus was just 2 months after Diamond and Pearl.
I think, you know what? I think going forward, we're going to see that a lot more. I think this is going to be maybe the few specific instances where the games have been bottlenecked. Like this comes like once every 10 years, for example, where we see an influx of different Pokemon games coming out back to back, as it were. I doubt that they would announce, for example, Gen 10 in the next 2 years, maybe in the next 3, but not in the next 2. I would doubt it.
No,
like I don't think it's like.
I think the next console.
Yeah, like Pokemon's not going to become the next Assassin's Creed of regurgitating every year. So
onto that. So again, talking about the 2017 repeating it. So. One big game, well, the Nintendo Switch's biggest game, really, and sales-wise, came out in 2017. That's Mario Kart 8, and we're actually getting DLC for that this year, starting just like a week and a half's time. So, as you know, me and Sophie, we stream this game most weekends and play it online with the fans, with our viewers, and obviously the influx of new courses we're going to get is going to add more variety to those streams, so that's something that's actually going to be good for our channel, I'd say. Yeah,
definitely. I love the fact that they've added the old maps, the old circuits.
It makes a prediction video a lot easier to do if we know they're all ones we know about.
But they've been polished up for the Switch. Like for example, on the GBA,
Sky Gardens.
Yes, that one. So
yeah, because I know that one from because it was remade on the DS as well, but it was still flat in that one. But this one they've like got gliding sections and stuff, and
so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they implement the new mechanics onto this one.
3 of the courses we know about so far are from Mario Kart Tour, so I think they speculated they're going to lean heavily into what's on Mario Kart Tour, which is a game I've not played much of. So I welcome the Mario Kart Tour courses because they are new to me. But the fact that Coconut Mall from the Wii version apparently isn't in Tour, but it's coming to this, shows that any course is fair game, whether they're in Tour or not.
I think it'd be good to have a bit more variety by adding the circuits from Tour, definitely.
And also, I feel, again, like with Switch Sports, this is something that we probably should have seen a few years ago.
Yeah, but this is the thing, like now that we see it more and more, we can expect for this to become more of a concrete thing, you know? Of games having a second wind of sorts because of DLC. And you know what? I welcome it. If you want to add it, you can. If you're not that bothered, that's fine.
Also, another good thing is it's been confirmed that if you haven't bought this DLC and you play online with someone who has bought it, you can still play those courses.
That's good. It'd be silly not to offer that, considering how many copies of Mario Kart on the Switch is sold, you know?
And it also nips that whole Mario Kart 9 stuff in the bud for a while.
You don't need a Mario Kart 9, man. Just include... Do what Rockstar are doing with GTA 5 online.
Yeah.
You know, where they're just adding stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because essentially that's what's happening. You've got something that basically makes money itself. All you need to do is add new content and you're done. And people won't be asking for Mario Kart 9. Why would you need a Mario Kart 9 when this one does everything that the new Mario Kart would do? And then some, you know?
They're doubling the content of this game with this DLC.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also another thing, because I said last year I was like, Smash Brothers got its final character, and I said I kind of felt a bit empty after that because there was always that thing in your brain, which character's going to be added to Smash next. That's gone now. That's now been replaced with which tracks are going to come back to Mario Kart 8 now.
Yeah.
Now that's all the stuff like from Nintendo themselves. So I don't know if E3's happening this year or not. Do you know?
I don't know yet, but if it does go ahead, they'll probably announce more information about Breath of the Wild 2 there.
Yeah, I think that's the case. So even if E3 doesn't happen this year, I'm sure Nintendo will put out a direct, or at least a mini direct in June around that time. But there's no reason why they can't say towards the end of April, go, tomorrow we're going to do a Zelda direct where we're going to give you a bunch of Breath of the Wild news.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Coming out December, there's no reason they couldn't do.
I think Nintendo fans, especially old school ones, we have been going through something that hasn't happened in decades, at least from my point of view, where we're actually spoiled for choice and we're getting so many games we can't keep up. You know?
Definitely, I agree with that. I think there are too many games, and this lineup we've got for this year is just adding more and more. I mean, I can't remember I think 2017 is the last time I looked forward with so much coming up that I wanted.
Yeah, and that's not...
and that's just on Nintendo's side of things. There's other consoles and companies as well bringing out great stuff as well that's without even mentioning those.
And indies, for example.
Yes, I can't even get into that.
So yeah, no, it's a good time to be a Nintendo fan or a gamer for that matter.
Yeah,
definitely. But yeah,
Cuphead's getting DLC.
If it's going to be substantial, it's going to make a difference. Like Children of Morta, for example. That game's been out for a while, but the developers have added stuff again and again, and yeah, that's good. I think it's great that you add more stuff. to it, you know? Because at least it gives you an incentive to go back. If you've done everything, essentially, it just entices you to do something else or try new things. So yeah, I'm happy with what's coming out. I'm happy with the lineup. I'm not like sitting on my hands to see, what else is coming out. I'm a bit overwhelmed, quite frankly, because I've got to a point where ever since I started the YouTube channel, I've bought tons of games, and my backlog is taller than myself. You know, if I had to stack them one on top of the other, I don't know, it's a bit unbearable in a way.
For me, it's gotten to the point where I've made a spreadsheet.
Oh my god!
Listing every single one of my Switch games on it, and then the ones that I've beaten, I've highlighted green. That's my way of keeping up with my backlog.
You had to do a spreadsheet. This is the thing. This is exactly my point. If you have to get Excel out, you've got a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I basically look at my games and I go, oh yeah, I haven't played that one. Oh, I haven't played that one. That one I haven't even put on the Switch. Can I get the points from that now? But yeah, oh my god, I keep playing the same games as well. So yeah, like
sometimes I'm looking at what's on my Switch and I'm like, what game's that again?
Yeah.
Have I played that one before?
I downloaded a few games that were on discount, like really big discount. Haven't booted them up yet. I've got them, but I haven't touched them. It's really bad. But this is the thing, at least I tried to be honest about it, you know? Like, it's not like when people ask me, what's this game like? I haven't played it yet. And I feel stupid saying that. Especially when I do my unboxings, because there's a lot of games that for example, Abzu, I still haven't loaded that game. And I did the unboxing for that ages ago. I know it's a good game because I've seen reviews and so forth, but I still haven't played it. And it's oh my god, it sounds really bad. I feel really bad. I've got a problem.
Yeah, it's just there's too many.
But there's more to come.
Yes. But then some of them, like looking at the list, I know Mario Strikers, Switch Sports and Breath of the Wild 2, they're ones I'll play straight away. But Mario Rabbids, Advance Wars, I'll get them fine, but I don't know if I would play them straight away or if I'll just put them on the shelf for a bit first. So thank you so much for joining me on this, Azdin. Do you want to let people know about your channel, what they can expect there?
So my channel, if you don't know, is called Grinning Wolf Games. I do unboxing videos. Mainly, at the moment, I'm doing a lot of unboxing videos for Super Rare games, but I do unboxing for all kinds of physical editions, if I can get hold of them, because they're very hard. I try to let the viewers know where to get them, and where to get them cheap. I also customize controllers and consoles when I can. And I like to talk about the gaming industry as a whole, which, if you haven't already, please have a look at the birthday edition video I put up for the Nintendo Switch. Other than that, pop around, say hi, subscribe and all that jazz.
Yeah, I will link in the top pinned comment to your Nintendo Switch 5-year anniversary video. It's a really good watch, that one. You did a good job there.
Thank you.
And so yeah, make sure you give Azdin a subscription if you like what you see over there. Make sure you hit that subscribe button here if you're new to this channel. And so I hope, let us know in the comments down below which Nintendo games you're most looking forward to coming out this year. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for having me, Dave.